wrapping up our Tonka Supernatural series, we're going to be taking a look at some of their world building elements, and that is going to be the only playset in the set, the Tomb of Doom, and then one of the two car vehicles. This is the Ghost Finder. The other one being, of course, the Bat Bopper. Incredibly difficult to find complete. This itself was also incredibly difficult to find complete. There's also two animals. There's a good sort of lion with wings and then a dragon, evil dragon with wings. Did not get those. They all still have some holographic elements to them. This one is essential to the story. In addition to being, the play set here, and it's pretty cool. It's got some gimmicks in it. There's areas to display the figures, and there's also some variation. We saw with the variants here. I'll just get into it really quick. Now this on the packaging is depicted as having this little jaw here, but we saw on eBay another variant of this where it doesn't have the metal sort of chin strap, and instead the whole face is exposed and it appears to be glow in the dark, just like you see right here. So interesting that they have a little element there. And then the key here, I've seen different versions of it. This has one bone sticking out at the bottom here. I've seen some with two, and I've seen some with three as well. So unclear if the ones with two are just the middle part missing, but there appears to be no broken elements of this. So, and I have seen multiple ones with just the single bone on there. So there are different variants of this key. There are different variants of this skull here, but the rest of it all seems to be pretty much the same. So I didn't notice any other difference here. So there are a bunch of elements we'll get into in just a minute. I haven't seen any variants with the Ghost Finder, but like I said, it's incredibly rare, so it's hard to see a lot of different copies of this out in the wild. So why don't we take a look at these amazing sets here. We'll start with the Tomb of Doom. All right, so our Tomb of Doom here has a couple of play elements. One is you can see the little indentations here. This is for the ghostlings. So the ghostlings could sit up here. You have your good and evil. Same with your ghost warriors. There's little hidey holes. Hello, where they could pop in here and stand in the back. This is all they really do. Again, there's no like fun element here with the ghost warriors. They're just little hidey holes for them to poke their heads over the tomb. That's really the big aspect. Now, the next thing we have is the skull here, which has a light up feature, as you saw trickle down there. I got this to work. Now, this essentially is going to shine a light here on the tomb element, which is meant to have, it has a hologram on the inside here. And I'll show you just a second how this works. I'll get the key in here to get it all set up. So the tomb does come out, so you can have that tomb come out if you wanted to. But for the sake of our demonstration here, and you can see the doors in the back, and we'll show you how this all works in just a minute. But for the sake of our demonstration here, we'll leave the tomb in place. It has a little groove for it to sit in here. And basically what you do is you would open up the doors, and you can see the little flatbed in there. They're going to close on their own. You'd stick one of your figures in here. Let's go with Snakebite here. You stick them in here. You close the tomb doors, and then you turn the key, and it transports him to the oh, sorry, I get caught here. Nothing ever goes perfect. Spin him around, and he transports to the ghost dimension. Now, once he's in the ghost dimension, if you go back and look in the tomb, you see this hologram. And you get a whole little look at the hologram. So the light doesn't do much. I'll show you here on here. It just doesn't really light up that much. I don't know if it's an old bulb or what, but you can take a look here at the hologram, and you can see the whole ghost dimension there with the cobwebs and the spider chests and all sorts of other little elements. So it's the largest hologram in the series. It's pretty neat. Again, it's just a large 3D hologram. It's not a two-phase like we see with the other ones. But that is, the crypt there for the Tomb of Doom. Now, as he spins around, these doors slide and the figure sneaks out the back, so you really don't get to see that. But that is essentially the effect caused by this thing. So pretty cool little effect here, and the key helps you spin it while it's in the tomb there. And that is essentially it for the Tomb of Doom. You can see the little design elements here. I know this is probably really close. A good and evil on each end here. And that's really it. So it's got wheels. It could roll if you wanted to roll it, but it really just meant to sit up here in this little display area. Now, the only other aspect of it, and I'll show you here, is you'll notice along the top, we have a bunch of different little symbol elements there, and these are all meant to glow, glow in the dark aspect. So I'll turn on our little black light, and you can see these up here glowing, just a bunch of different symbols, and that seemed to be pretty consistent with all of them. I didn't see any variant in the glow there. But that is essentially it. So you could have this nice little display for your figures. You had this little fun element in the middle here, this light up head element here that's, I don't know, supposed to bring light down on it, but it really doesn't do much. But essentially, that is your Tomb of Doom. Okay, now we got our heroic ghost finder here, and that is the vehicle Tonka, known for making its cars, Tonka trucks, of course. We got some vehicles in this series. It's a spooky little hot rod kind of truck thing for the good guys. You can see the hologram here is in the front, and you can see these eyes and then this little engine with these little friendly ghosts on there. That is really the only holographic aspect here in this portion of it. The tailpipes, and I'll show you in a moment, these glow in the dark that are on the side here. That's pretty neat. There's nothing that opens up in terms of the doors or anything like that. Your characters, you're meant to take one of the good ghostlings and stick them here, and they just kind of like sit in here. It's weird that they have this little gun. I don't know what the gun is for, but if you push it, you see this little battering ram come out of the bottom, and it's literally a ram. So that's your battering ram. It's a little ram head, but that's it. The ghostling stays in here. It can fit one ghostling and one ghost warrior. So the ghost warrior would be up here. You have his gun or anything like that. There's no like foothold or anything to stick him in, so you would just kind of like rock around in there. I guess you could try to stabilize him a little bit, but that is really it. You got big rubber wheels on these. I think the hubcaps are glow in the dark too. We'll check it out in just a moment. And then the last piece is in the back here. You flick a switch, and let's see. Oh, I already had it popped up. Okay, so you flick a switch, the turret pops up. You can spin the turret around, and it fires this glow-in-the-dark eagle. This is one of the more common pieces lost, of course, in this set. I don't think the spring really works in here anymore. Let's see. Nope. Yeah, that's all the firing it does. So it would fire this little projectile, and it's this glow-in-the-dark eagle, and then that's really it. The turret can move around, and then once you want to, you can secure it back into place down there. And that is really all for the Ghost Finder. It's pretty cool. It's got the battering ram. It's got your glow-in-the-dark eagle, glow-in-the-dark hubcaps, glow-in-the-dark elements on the side there. Of course, let's get that black light on so we can see that. Here we go. So we have those glow-in-the-dark elements here. You can see the hubcaps. You can see the side here of the exhaust pipes. Same on this side. Everything is glowing. It's how you know it's authentic. So. And then, of course, the eagle, too. Let's get that guy out there. This one should be glowing, too. Yep, you can see the eagle glowing. It all glows. So it had a lot of glow-in-the-dark elements. It had one tiny little hologram on it. That was really it. Just the eyes as the headlights, and then this grill was glowing, but that was it. So this one was featured on some of the comics. You could see the Lionheart in here with, I think it was Spooks riding in it. But this is how you would run down the bad guys, and they had their truck that had like a spike ball on it. Really wanted to show you that, but I couldn't track one down. But again, this is incredibly rare, even just to see this. You don't see a lot of the vehicles. People remember the figures. There were vehicles. There were 4 vehicles, if you count the animals there, just a couple of mounts, and then these 2 cars in that one playset. So all in all, those were tricky to track down, and they're really expensive. You're looking at $400 to $500 maybe for one of these complete. Same with the playset, you're looking at least $300 or something like that for a complete Tomb of Doom in working condition. So yeah, tricky to track these down, but pretty cool. And they were kind of a part of, you know, that little history of these hologram toys in the 80s. So that is your look at the Ghost Finder. That completes our look at vehicles and playsets, or what we were able to get our hands on for this limited line. And that completes our look at the line in its entirety. We looked at all the Ghostlings. There were 8 of those. We looked at the 6 Ghost Warriors, both the evil and the good in all those different sets. And we took a look at the only playset. And we took a look at the only good guy vehicle. The other one I'll call it a mount. So there's just 3 others. There's the 2 mounts, and there's the bad guy vehicle. Very hard to find complete. Very, very hard. Very expensive. just because this line was winding down. I guess they stopped at a certain point. But I hope you got to see how cool this line was when it existed. Very limited run, very expensive to produce, but very cool figure that still nothing like that has been replicated today. So a little piece of collecting history, if you could find some at your local comic shop, on eBay. They command quite a price now. I'm noticing some of the figures complete are going for $70 or more. So for the Warriors. So it's tougher and tougher to find these. Tougher and tougher to find them complete, so the costs are going to go up. So get them while you can before they go up even more. But very cool sets. If you're able to see these in person, they're just fun. So I hope we gave you a nice enough look so you can see all the holograms from all our videos, all the two-sided, both the different dimensions of them, how they transform. And we took you through the size comparisons with the Visionaires line, and we took you through the entire product line here, showing you the card back, showing you everything that we could find. Even we discovered a little hidden factory error variant for one of the good guys. That was kind of a surprise. So hopefully you enjoyed this look. It's going to be a little while before we get to another vintage line. We have a lot in June we want to show you that's newer products. So we will push that off until at least July. And then we'll see, because we're heading right into Comic-Con. So we're going to have a ton of coverage from all the booths there as well. So as always, like, subscribe, and follow. We'll see you guys next time.